Hey, what's going on, chess lovers? This is Maurice Bishop Chess. Y'all know my slogan, life is a game of chess. Hey guys, I got 3 games that I want to share with y'all. 2 of them is with the Elshad System, and the last one's with the England Gambit chess game. I wanted to try to bring y'all in to share with y'all, some of my tactical ideas, and kind of give y'all some concept of, why I play these moves. All right, and hopefully it'll help y'all out. So without further ado, let's actually get started. And this first game is with the Elshad System. I played against a FIDE master, very strong player. So he plays e4, d6, d4, and I play h6, knight c3, g5. And of course, guys, the engine's not going to agree with every move that I make because, that's the Elshad System. Knight f3, bishop g7, bishop e3. I play c6. And a4 is played. Now, normally, guys, if I'm playing Black Lion, usually I will go a5 to prevent any queenside attack. But in this game, with the Elshad System, my job is to actually create dark square weaknesses. And the whole point of creating dark square weaknesses is we want to get an advantage over white. If he could keep extending his pawns over, then then he'll weaken his position even more. So that's why in this position, instead of going a5, I'm playing the heart of the Elshad, where I play queen b6. Now, the whole point of queen b6 is if white decides to go d5, he wants to extend and try to attack my queen, then white will automatically lose in a position like this due to after queen captures b2. Not only do I win a pawn, but also this knight on c3 is undefended, and also I have this beautiful, strong, active dark square bishop that's controlling the dark square areas. If for some reason, if white decides to go bishop d4, I can immediately go bishop captures d4. If queen captures d4, then obviously I'll take his rook on a1 and black will win. Even if knight captures d4, then this loses too because of queen captures c3. I actually had a game where after I did this, my opponent played queen d2 and I just took his rook and he resigned. All right, so the thing is, when you create dark square weaknesses, white can defend all his pieces all at the same time. It's just impossible. He can't do it. All right, so that's the whole point of that. Now, if something like maybe a move like a5, now the question is, could I still take this pawn? The answer to that would be no, I cannot take it. And the reason why, because now since this pawn is not on a4, he goes to a5. If I go queen captures b2, now white can actually go knight a4. So it was a little bit different when the pawn was on a4, but because the pawn is on a5, now the knight can maneuver to knight a4. So if I go somewhere like queen b4 check, then white would just go bishop d2, and then of course my queen is trapped, so I have nowhere to go, and white will win the game. All right, so in this game, my opponent actually plays queen d2. He doesn't go d5, he doesn't go a5, he immediately goes queen d2. And I'm thinking in my mind that he probably going to want to castle queenside, or he may just be developing, Well, queen is not a developing move, but, but having queen d2 to defend the knight on c3, it's not a bad move. Knight d7, and then a5 is played. Now, you're probably wondering, like, well, can you take the pawn now? Well, in this type of position, I personally wouldn't want to take the pawn on there because it does get risky. Let's say something like rook a2. I don't know, queen b4. Maybe something like bishop d3. I mean, I could go d5, but then he goes e5. So now it's limited. The queen is being limited to, a different space. I mean, but if I go e6, then I'm pretty much fine. And then I could just go back to queen e7. So it still wouldn't be that bad. Even if rook b1, I do have queen a3, which is still not bad as well. And then bishop c4, maybe he wants to castle and then bring the rook over here. But then I can just immediately capture the pawn on a5, and then I'll be fine. So it's risky. I mean, I would have been fine, but then again, when you play the Elshad system, you do take a lot of risk or whatever. So definitely different. All right. All right, I think I went way too back. All right, so knight d7, a5, queen c7. Yeah, after he went a5, I went queen c7, bishop c4, and I go knight f6. Of course, the engine is saying h4 and all that. All right, which I see this a lot, and you'll see a lot in the books where they play h4, and a lot of times you could just go g4 if you want to. All right, but in this case, my opponent castled kingside, and I decided to go knight g4. And the reason why I go knight g4 is because I had this thing in my course where I say if you win the dark square bishop, then you are golden. Why do you want to take the dark square bishop? Because if you take the dark square bishop, you'll have your own dark square bishop where you can create dark square weaknesses in your opponent's position, and that's the whole point of it. Now, my opponent plays rook e1. Now, to me, I could have just played knight f8, which would have been a good move, only due to the fact that this bishop is not going anywhere because he has no moves to go to. You know what I mean? So I could have just played, like I said, the heart of the Elshad, just go knight f8, maybe knight e6 or knight g6. Actually, there was a question where somebody said, how do you know if you go to knight e6 or knight g6? And the best answer I could say, it really depends on the position, but also I kind of have this concept. If white castles kingside, then the best move is to play knight g6, because with white castles on the king side, when you go knight g6, you'll be able to sometimes go knight h4 or sometimes knight f4. Either way, is probably one of the good attacking techniques to use when you have positions like this, especially when white is castled on the king side. Usually, if they castle queen side, majority of the time, I will play knight e6 instead of knight g6. Because knight e6, if it's castled on the queen side, it's a lot more flexible. You know, I could get around. Maybe sometimes I need to go c5. Maybe sometimes I need to go knight d4. You know, I have a lot of options, especially knight f4. So knight e6 is very flexible when it comes to the Elshad, especially if white castle queen side. That's usually when I'll go knight e6. But like I said, guys, there's other positions where white can castle king side, and I can still go knight to e6 depending on the position. So just keep that in mind. All right. So knight g4, rook e1. I immediately take the dark square bishop because when you take the dark square bishop, you are golden. Queen captures e3. I castle king side, and I'm gonna tell you why I castle king side. I castle king side because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When you're playing against high rated players, especially title players and everything, it's like certain things you just can't get away with. You know, a lot of times, you know, title players, like, they know the position. They've been playing chess tournaments for a long time, maybe longer than me. You know, they play more in it and they have playing experience. You know, so certain things that I would like to do, I just can't just do and just break the I mean, like I said, we already break the principle of not gaining control of the center. You know, we break the principle of, you know, leaving the king out in the center of the board, because a lot of times that's what I play. But I realize, guys, that I play, at least playing in a level like this, you know, when you're playing against stronger players and title players, you know, it's just a little bit different though. So for all of my mistakes and all my analysis, you know, I take a lot of things into consideration. So that's why I actually castle king side in this sense, you know. So my opponent plays e5, not a problem. He played e5, but he plays e5, and I decided to go, instead of taking, and the engine wanted me to take, I didn't take the pawn. I actually played g4. And of course, the engine don't agree with me with that move. But the reason why I played g4 is because I wanted to take the defender, and it's kind of like a counterattack. I wanted to take the defender off of the e5 pawn. So, which is what I was doing. You know, if he moves to knight h4, then I can immediately just take the pawn. You know, and then if he takes back, I'll just take back. So I'm pretty much would be up a pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I'll be up a pawn, which I got a free pawn. But then also I have a nice, beautiful knight that's on e5. That's also attacking the light square bishop. You know, it's giving me a certain advantage. You know what I mean? So, and that's the reason why I was doing it, or at least that's the reason why I played g4. You know, and eventually in my mind, I was thinking of maybe something like maybe going king h8 if I get a chance to, and then go rook g8, and then maybe followed by knight f3. So these are things that I'm thinking in my mind when I'm playing, though. But again, I can't do certain moves like that unless I figure out exactly what my opponent's trying to do. So after g4, after I play g4, my opponent does play knight h4, and then I take the pawn. And instead of taking the pawn back, he decides to go knight f5 because he wants to attack my dark square bishop. So a lot of y'all probably thinking, man, at the heart of the Elshad, you know, you got to have that dark square bishop and things like that. And I understand that too. But in this type of position, you know, you got to play it smart. So by him going knight f5, I decided, okay, I got to think of another counterattack. So the best thing that I thought of doing was e catchers on d4. And this is what I was thinking, because I'm like, okay, at least I got to put some type of pressure on him. All right. And yes, guys, I was getting a little bit nervous in a position, but you know, I try to keep my cool and just really try to figure out the best moves, you know, because I feel as though I should be the one, like, you know, killing his king side opening. Like, I should be like doing some crazy stuff, whereas I feel as though his king is actually more safer than mine, you know, as I'm looking at it. So but I play e catches d4, he goes knight catches a6. Obviously, guys, I'm not going to take the knight because man, it's just going to be bad. So like, for instance, like if he takes then, you know, he'll take. And technically, he might make it a draw, maybe. Like, if I take, he could just immediately just go queen g6 and then just do a perpetual check. He could do that if he want to. But I think he probably would do a draw because of the fact that he is down a piece, you know, and you know, if he does anything else, then I might wind up getting the advantage, and I might actually be able to have a chance to actually win. So yeah, so that's why I didn't take the knight. I didn't take it at all. I decided to go king h8. He goes he doesn't go queen g5 though. He doesn't do that. Knight f5 takes, knight catches a6, king h8, and then this is not what he played. It got me thinking, did he play this? Knight catchers, king h8. Oh no, he does no, he does plays it. I'm sorry, guys. He does plays it. I'm tripping. So he does play queen g5. So he plays queen g5. I played knight e5. And I played knight e5 to prevent the knight on f7. That was the whole purpose of it. I feel as though I didn't really have I kind of felt like I didn't really have any other moves, because I couldn't just, to me, guys, I couldn't just take this knight off the bat. I just couldn't do it because of knight captures f7. And after I take bishop captures f7, he is I'm in a not a very pleasant thing. I'm not in a pleasant position right now because of queen h5. But I'm pretty much about to be checkmated, pretty much. Even if I play something like knight f6 or whatever, he does have this move on queen h4, and then if he comes here, then bishop h7, and it could pretty much end that, especially because now he has the threat of rook captures e7 as well, which can also end that as well. So even if king g8, I'm almost thinking like I don't know, rook captures e7 seems like a really good move. After this one, queen captures e7. Yeah, I feel as though it's really nothing that I could do. Where black would be forced to take this, and then I know white would actually win. So that's why I didn't really like the position. So that's why I had to play knight e5. Unfortunately, after knight e5, my opponent did something else. He actually he played rook catchers e5. But as I was analyzing, or when I was looking at it, I was thinking he didn't have to play rook catchers e5, because I was thinking about queen h4 or queen h5. I just figured that probably would have been pretty deadly in a sense. And now that I think about it, even if he goes knight captures c4, knight f5 check, take, and then knight captures e7. So yeah, so I just feel like I will be losing this position. Even though he gets the material, but it's like, I don't know, maybe with an engine, it'll be a very close game. But I know human wise, I feel like white will win this game, and that's just me being honest. So that's why, guys, I played the move knight e5, because I just felt like he had so much stuff that he could do to me, and maybe I just lucked out. Maybe I really did lucked out, but I don't know. But I played knight e5, and I really thought he would have had me if he would have played queen h4, but he didn't. He actually played rook captures e5, and I think this was actually a blunder on his end because of queen captures e5. And then he played knight catches f7, which I mean, I understand you want to win like some material, but I felt like it just didn't work. It just wouldn't work at all. And I feel like maybe queen h4 probably would have been a lot better in his position. Queen h4. After queen h4, let's see, wait here. So yeah, even the engine says, taking the knight, because the knight is powerful, and then king g8, defend this knight, and then bishop e6, and then queen g7, and then black will have the advantage in his position, because he's up a rook and everything. So black would definitely have an advantage. So you could just see how the tables turn. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, so in this position, queen captures e5, knight captures f7, rook captures. He gets me in check, and then I go king f7. I take his bishop, knight a4, and then I go bishop e6. This was a blunder on his part. I think this was a blunder. But then again, I mean, he still had enough time to think. I mean, he had 1 minute and 11 seconds left. I had 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Excuse me, guys, but I thought this was a blunder only due to the fact that I was thinking about rook h8, because that was my initial planning, but then I saw that he had queen g3, so it's not like I could mate him. But I did see this beautiful move utilizing the pass pawn. I have to discover attack with queen captures b2, and then my opponent played rook c1. But then I hit him with the d2, and he wound up resigning due to the fact that, again, I'm hitting his rook, and then I do have queen e1, which is pretty much game over after that. You know what I mean? So even if he would have played something like this, I just would have just played queen e1. Even if he decides to check me, it just wouldn't matter. He wouldn't be able to check me anymore, and he pretty much will run out of checks. And this game would just be over. Literally, this game would just be over, and black will win. So I hope this actually help y'all out, just for the Elshad system. I know this was kind of a little bit longer, but I'm hoping y'all get the concept. Hope y'all understanding a lot of things with the Elshad. All right, so we'll go to the second game of the Elshad. Wow, I thought I had the. Sorry about that, guys. I had the game with the white. Here we go. All right. I don't even think it was this one. I think it was if I could find it, guys. This was a nice one too, but the one I really wanted to show y'all for black, if I could find it. I think I was going to use the white one, so let's do the for white. Yeah, guys. So this is the Elshad system for white. So c3, c6, queen a4, knight f6, g4, d5, and then I just go g5. You know, and the whole point, guys, is just putting them under pressure. I just go h4. We'll come here. e5, d3, knight c5. Now the crazy part, the engine wanted me to go queen d1, but I decided just to stay on queen c2. Bishop f5, and I go knight f3. I'm hitting the pawn on f6. And the whole point is, so this is different, guys. So anytime, you know, when you're playing as black, you want to create dark square weaknesses in your opponent's position. In this case, when you're playing as white, you want to create light square weaknesses in your opponent's position. And what I was doing was, by me going knight f3, I wanted to have him extend his pawn so that I can create some weaknesses in his position. So that's why I go knight f3. But instead of pushing, he actually goes knight d7 first. I go knight d2. He goes e4, which I was happy with it because now I could take. More than likely, they're not going to go bishop captures, because obviously if they do that, then I'm going to take this light square bishop automatically. Because again, if you win, if you're white and you win black's light square bishop, then you are golden, because now you create light square weaknesses. All right, so it's like a flip-flop. In his position, my opponent played knight captures e4, and then I go knight d4. And that's pretty much what I played. And the whole point of this, guys, if he goes bishop g6, then I have this nice move h5, whereas the light square bishop would be trapped, and yeah, it wouldn't be very pretty for him. All right, so I don't know if it was another better move. No, same thing. The engine would have said the same thing, h5. So yeah, all right. So knight d4. My opponent actually played knight captures d2, and this was definitely a blunder on his part. I mean, he should have just went bishop e6 maybe. I mean, I still was going to take his light square bishop either way, but yeah, knight captures d2. I just actually go queen captures d2 first. Now you're probably wondering, why not just take his light square bishop? The purpose of it is, guys, is this light square bishop is not going anywhere. If he goes bishop g6, I still have h5. And that's why I actually took his knight first. It doesn't matter what he does. That's why he goes bishop e6. He goes bishop e6, and of course I don't have to take it right away, because I could immediately take the light square bishop either way. It doesn't matter. So he goes bishop d6, and I just go queen f4. I didn't really have to, I still don't have to worry about taking this light square bishop at all. He castles kingside. I go h5. He goes queen b8, and the engine again wanted me to take the queen, but I don't take the queen. That's not what I'm about. That's why I go queen h4. And again, this bishop, I don't really have to do too much with it, because I got the h file. I got the pawns already on the 5th rank. I don't really have to do too much, and I really don't want to. And then the knight is pretty much nicely on the d4 square, so I didn't really have to do too much with that. My opponent actually plays queen e5, which was a blunder on his part, because I hit him with the surprising move bishop f4, in which I pretty much trapped his queen, which is another tactic. That's another reason why I didn't want to trade off queen, because it's like, you know, a lot of times your opponent's going to make a mistake. You know, but bishop f4, this is beautiful. So he takes my knight, I take his queen. He takes castle queenside, knight b6, and then I go f4. Bishop c7, I go e4. He takes, bishop captures e4, bishop d5, and I just go f5. You know, I'm not going to mess up any pawn structure. And normally, guys, I would just end this game right here, but certain techniques that I want to share with y'all in this game. Anytime you have your pawns, 3 pawns on the 5th rank, you definitely have a big advantage, but also you can utilize messing up your opponent's king side, and I'm going to show you how to do that. He takes, I take. Rook e8, I go back to queen h4. He goes rook e2, and I go g6. Now, he takes. So instead of me taking back with either of the pawns, I play h6. Anytime, so just look at this guy. Look at the pawn structure. I go g6, right? He takes. It doesn't matter which part he takes. It doesn't matter. The whole focal point is really this g7 pawn. So this is just another tactic, you know, that you can use on your opponent. So just always look at that. G6, and then this G7 pawn, because that's really where you want to get at. You want to get at this pawn, because when you do that, you can open up your opponent's king side very fast. That's why I play H6. He actually takes, and then I go F captures G6, and then as you see, he has double pawns. Everything is open. You know, it's just bad. Queen captures, and then of course, guys, it might look like I blundered, but I really didn't. I'm be honest with you guys. I technically I missed that. I ain't gonna lie. I did miss that part, but because of my position, I still had a big advantage. I still was going to win this game either way. I still was going to queen. I was going to get another queen either way, so it didn't matter. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So when he did this, I played queen captures f4. He takes, and I go g captures a7. So it doesn't matter what he does. If he goes king g7, I'm gonna just get a queen back. All right. So when he goes king h8, it doesn't matter because I just go rook d8 check, king g7, queen h8 check, and then obviously, guys, this is us pretty much all over, and you know, it's just checkmate. All right. But I wanted to show you those technique, guys. You know, those pawn structure techniques. You know, creating attacks on your opponent's king pretty quickly. You know, definitely do that or utilize that. All right. And guys, I know I'm going over the time limit right now, but I'm gonna show you this one last game. I'm gonna show you this last game only because it's very, very, very short, and I can show exactly some stuff here. All right, so this is a very short. Now this is with the England gambit. I'm gonna show you my stuff. So e5, he takes, or I'm sorry. After he takes, he goes knight f3. I go bishop g4, and of course, in an opening like this, guys, the whole point of it is you want to develop your piece as fast as possible, castle queenside as fast as possible, and attack as fast as possible. That's the whole theory of, or the whole concept of playing the England gambit. He goes bishop g5. I go queen d7. He takes. I go bishop captures d6. Knight c3, and then knight c6. All right. So queen d2 was played. The engine wanted me to play a6. However, I played f6 first. He goes bishop f4, and I castle queenside. He castles queenside, and I immediately go queen f7. He takes, I take, queen f4, and then I go rook captures d1 check. Now, remind you guys, what y'all need to understand is when you're in a position like this, you want to grab the file as much as possible. You want to gain control of that, and that's why I took his rook first. He takes with the king, and I go back to bishop e6. A3 is played. I play g5 to see where the queen will go. The queen wound up going to queen a4, and this actually seems like a logical move because, I mean, if this knight move out the way, he can actually take the pawn on a7. Very logical, right? I play knight e7. He plays e3, and then I play rook d8 check. And the thing is, I want to get the file. You know, I just want to get the file. And logically, guys, in a position like this, you know, when you're in check, you know, the right move would be is just to move the king out the way. But a lot of times when your king is still in the center of the board and you see that your opponent has all his pieces developed, in your mind, logically, you know, your opponent is going to want to develop pieces, or I want to develop. And that's pretty much what my opponent did. He actually went to develop his pieces, you know, and maybe move the king over. But of course, this was a blunder on his part. And I want y'all to try to guess what move I did in this position that made him resign. I'll give y'all 5 seconds to think about it. You can pause the video if you need to. Alright, guys, so if you saw this beautiful move, rook captures d3, then you're definitely on your way to some tactical stuff, alright? You know, or becoming a tactician. The whole point of this is, guys, he resigned because I pretty much wanted peace. If he does decide to take, then I have bishop b3 check, where this bishop is forking the king and the queen, and of course if he takes, I pretty much win the queen, and this game is all over, pretty much. All right, so guys, I know it's been long. I've been on here for like 30 minutes now doing these chess game analysis with y'all. But again, guys, if you like this video, you know, you want more explanation of the Elshad system and everything, you know, definitely drop a comment below. Make sure you like, share, comment. Let me know what you think. And also, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, guys. Peace.